Man, I just did a dope interview with Real Life Street Stars. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Y'all hit the bell. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with the LAXX Network. LAXX, NETWRK, Apple, Roku, Fire TV, Android. Let's go.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life,
it ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real Life Street Stars. We here with Moolah Moe. What it is, brother?
What's good with it?
What's happening? What's happening?
Man, we're going to get right into it for everybody deaf, dumb, stupid, living up under a rock, man. Tell them where you're from.
I'm from Rochester, New York. Big 585.
Man, for those that don't know about Rochester, New York, because most people know Manhattan, you know, the boroughs.
Right.
What is for those that never been to the spot, never been to the place, like what's a day in the life of Rochester? What's the hoods like?
It's Gunroe County. Like, I mean, I feel like if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. You know, it's like every other hood and every ghetto, but you know, it's a little smaller than, you know, when you mention Manhattan, you mention like the 5 boroughs. Rochester is just like upstate New York. It's like smaller, but it's a lot that be going on there. You know, a lot of people be dying. A lot of people don't make it out of there, you know?
You know, it's crazy because I had the chance to go to Toronto for the first time the other day. And you know, it's, you know, what people may not know is Toronto is literally across the lake from
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you shoot up to New York at times? Do you shoot up to Toronto just to, you know, business network?
Honestly, like I've been living in New York so long, it's to the point I don't even think about New York like that no more. I'm in love with the South. I'm in love with the South.
There's a lot to be in love with. There's a lot to be in love with.
Right.
Now you just stepped in, man. You actually brought you know, I believe your newly found business partner, you know what I'm saying, the home team, the home motherfucker me, familia,
right.
Mama Scott.
Mama Scott.
Tell us, man, how did that link up start, man? And just let us know as far as the business partnership y'all have, just off the rip.
Mama Scott, I've been knowing her for like a while. Like we started, because I own a radio station in New York. It's called 97.5 Hip Hop Daily. So, you know, I tapped in with her like years ago, like before like the fame and anything. Like, you know, she been rocking with me since day one. You know, very spiritual, very loving, caring, you know, just all around the board, real person, you know. How could you hate her? Like, I mean, you gotta love Mama Scott, you know. And she's been like supportive, you know. So like we had separated for a while, and then God brought us back together. You know, I was doing my own thing, she was doing her thing. You know, she's a boss. She be in her bag, you know, she got her business and she's pushing fast ENT. So it's just like over the years I was doing my thing, and then, you know, I got casted to be on TV. And then, you know, just like we ended up linking back up.
So what show was that you were on again?
Bad Boyz LA on the Zeus Network.
Now give us a little, you know, a background. How does one get on that show? You know, tell us about your experience.
You know, like I said, I own a radio station, so I interview everybody. Everybody's
Correct.
On 97.5 Hip Hop Daily. And you know, pretty much Natalie, she's like from original Bad Girls. You know who Natalie Nunn is?
Yeah.
So you know, I interviewed her on my station, I want to say like 2 years ago. And during that interview, like I got on her live, and it was a whole bunch of like, it was a lot of females in there like, oh, he look good. You should put him on Bad Boyz. But at this time, mind you, it's never been a Bad Boyz. This is the very first Bad Boyz LA. You know, we used to watch Bad Girls Club back in the days, and we used to be like, I wonder when they gonna have a Bad Boyz Club. And, you know, Natalie took that idea over to the Zeus Network, and that was the very first Bad Boyz. And so I was in the studio just messing around. I was like, let me send in the casting tape, just being funny. I wasn't serious about being on the show. I was just like being a comedian in the studio. So I ended up sending the casting tape in, but Natalie had already told me that she was gonna put me on the show like years ago. So when I sent the casting tape in, and I was joking, and you know, they did like, you know, with the CEOs and everybody, they pretty much did like a vote. And so they wanted me on the show, and I made the first season of Bad Boyz LA.
Now you were on that show with a plethora of eclectic individuals. You know, just what are, like, when you're around so many different people from so many different walks of life, how do you translate that versus and still try to be yourself?
I mean, I feel like we living in a very judgmental world. Like you could say something,
Definitely.
you could express how you feel, and you don't mean no harm towards nobody. You know, I thought America was built off of freedom of speech, but apparently it's not. So I feel like I'm a very vocal person, and however I feel, I'm gonna express that. I don't care where I'm at. I'm gonna put it out there. So with me being on TV and being so vocal, and you know, just like letting it be known that, you know, I respect everybody. Do your thing, but when it don't cross certain boundaries.
Man, what was the expectation for you going into? I mean, you knew what Bad Girls Club was. I'm assuming, right? You had
Right.
that. What was your expectation like once they said, "All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna," you know, what did you expect out of it as far as to happen on the show? Do you expect for fights to happen? Do you expect for niggas to get in their moves and their feelings?
I mean, you know, nothing against what nobody else have going on. You know, they preference, but I feel like Zeus got over on me when it was only me and one other straight guy that was in the house. I was feeling some type of way. I was really feeling some type of way about that because I'm like, wait, hold on, like, is this a joke? Like, y'all serious right now? Like, what's happening?
Wait, so you had no idea until what cast arrived, or
Like, what happened was once we ended up signing our contracts before we saw anybody that was on the show. So like they put us in a hotel. And, you know, like the directors, they came downstairs. We signed the contract, looked it over. You know, they went over like the money situation with us, what we would be paid. We never know who was going to be on the show. So the next day, until we got on that Sprinter van, that's when we knew, like, wait, hold on. I was just like, I'm like, wait, well, is y'all serious or is this part of the show? Like, what's going on? Right.
But you maintained your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I held it down. I held it down.
I
like I said, I was very vocal. You know, I got like a lot of backlash for being the vocal person that I am by expressing, you know, like I said, I learned a lot of things, you know, being around the community. My thing is just, I don't allow certain things. You know, I don't care what nobody does. That's your business.
Yeah.
But when you cross certain boundaries, I got to check you on that.
Amen.
And I feel like me being a vocal person and checking that, the way that Zeus, the edits and how they put it out, it made it seem like I was a homophobic person when I'm not. I was just saying, listen, don't cross these lines and we good.
Yeah.
We good. And I feel like everybody's entitled to respect.
Definitely.
now you have one of you know, Dallas's own I Am Jonathan. He had his rise to fame with the chair, situation.
Right.
You know, he didn't trademark the goddamn foldable chair like the WWE. What was your expectation of him coming in, and then has anything changed for the good or for the worse as the show ended?
I feel like, you know, with him coming on the show, it was pure entertainment. I just feel like Zeus really put Jonathan up to do that, though. I mean, I feel like it was part of the marketing. Like, in me, I know business. And I pay attention to everything that goes on. So I know that, you know, me, like, because Jonathan was supposed to be on my radio show, like, probably like a year before him actually, like, coming on Bad Boyz.
That nigga hard to get in touch with, boy.
I know exactly. So,
Jonathan,
you know, with that, I feel like a lot of people was afraid of him. I feel like, you know, Jonathan, he just somebody that, you know, he just applied pressure on a lot of people are afraid of him.
And I believe Andrew Cott was on the show too.
Yeah, he was an early bird.
Yeah.
Gotta go. They ran him out of there.
You
He was going by. He couldn't hold it down. He couldn't.
What is it? I've been delivered. I've been delivered. That's my goddamn guy. Did you as far as even from the cast to even like after the show itself, have you, you know, of course we're gonna go into LAXX and everything, but have you built new relationships since? I mean, how many relationships have you had now that you did this? You're into reality TV now. The world knows you. How has the relationship building been, whether from cast members or even people off camera?
Well, I always been in the loop, you know. I always put myself in position to win. You know, I believe that we only live one life, and I don't believe in waiting on nobody to do anything or put me in position. So I always been a boss and put myself in position, you know. So I feel like when you're an asset, people want to deal with you. When you're a liability, people don't want to deal with you. So, you know, with me, I always had like a lot of great relationships, but like far as like the cast, I just feel like it's business, you know, and a lot of relationships on that show went left because you know, how Zeus, they had things set up. So now you got people that got real beef outside of the show. So me, I just kind of like stayed in my lane, you know?
And my only curiosity, because there's one thing to let girls fight on the show.
Right.
To let niggas hash it out, like this shit could get crazy.
Yeah, it can.
Like what, from a producer standpoint, like how long do you let like some shit build up to where niggas gonna throw blows and you're gonna allow one connect, two connects, and then okay.
I just feel like believe it or not, a lot of people, they'll say they stand for positive things, they not with the mess. But if you on Instagram, you on Facebook, that's the mess. That's the drama every day. I don't care if you in the church, pastor, I know you watching what's going on. You don't see what Sister Brown did last night. She was out at the club. That's why she ain't making the church on time. You know what I'm saying? So social media is just messy. It don't matter how you look at it, it's messy. You're going to, if everybody's talking about one thing, everybody going to see, hold on, let me go check this out. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like social media is just messy.
Now, with you being, you know, on TV and on the radio, you know that people get into the mess, like,
right.
But you know, with yourself, you have to try to have some type of integrity. How do you gauge what to get involved in, what to have an opinion on, what to speak on, and what not to?
I feel like just staying in my own lane, because we live in a very judgmental world. You know, it's like certain topics. I just stay in my own lane. I don't even touch on certain things because I just feel like at the end of the day, it's not making me no money. And, you know, if you jump in on the wrong topic, they ready to cancel you. Right. It's a sensitive world that we living in, you know?
How do you think we got like this? Like, so, because it didn't used to be like this, it felt like.
I feel like certain people that's in position, you know, that has like certain people, we put the wrong people in position.
Right.
There's certain people that shouldn't even be in position right now that get praised for every little thing that they do. So I feel like it became sensitive when we put the wrong people in position.
And speaking of sensitive, and again, I don't know if you know the details of it, but to even have Kerrion on the show, and which is I believe the son of Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Kirk Franklin, America's, everybody love him.
Right.
But he went on a rant on the phone.
Right.
That was just like, oh, it's so out of character.
Right.
And, it's private conversation. So, but when you see something like that where, like, I don't want to say he's their idol, but he's people idol.
Right.
Where they break, let's say, character, quote unquote. What are your thoughts? Because, once you're in that limelight, you're upheld to a certain standard. We're looking at what's happening with Kyrie,
right,
with Kanye. What's your thoughts as far as when you break what the people mold you to be and you go, left center?
I just feel like, with him, just period, with him being the son of Kirk Franklin, it's just like they hold them to a certain standard. So it's just like any little thing is just like people don't treat you like you human, because if they looking at you like you got famous parents. So why are you over here and why are you doing this?
Why you crying?
Exactly. So it's just like goes back to that. We living in a world where it's just very judgmental. And if you ask me, I feel like the best way to live is just do what the fuck you want to do. Mm-hmm. Because it don't matter if you could be, I'm talking about give back to the community. I'm talking about give a person a shirt off your back. Like you could be somebody that's somebody that's just like major in the community, and people still gonna judge you, and they're gonna try to find some type of receipts to pull up on you and judge you. So at the end of the day, just do you. And I feel like I get by in life like that. I live my life. I do what I want to do because I'm not worrying about any trolls on the internet. I'm not paying attention to that. People gonna judge you anyway. You could come out with a new style tomorrow, people laughing at it, and the next thing you know, everybody rocking it year from now.
How did you get into radio?
You said radio?
Yeah.
I want to say when I did time, I did time in prison, and I did a bid like back in what was that, 2008? And when I did this bid,
wait, real quick, what landed you there, if you don't mind speaking?
A gun charge.
Oh man, and up in New York.
Yeah, New York.
Oh shit. Okay.
So,
yeah. Say less.
So me doing time, like when I was doing my bid, a lot of people from New York, when they go up in those places, they want to stick together. And I just felt like my mindset just different. I don't care. Like if I wasn't rocking with you in the streets, if we in prison, I'm not gonna rock with you because we from the same city. So, I was doing a lot of networking in prison. Like it was a lot of mob people, it was a lot of people, you know, that I used to ask questions. I'm like, if you had to take that, you know, killing that person that you killed, would you take that back? A lot of them said no, they wouldn't. You know, so I landed a job as a law library clerk. So I used to surround myself around people that had life in prison. I surrounded myself around people that had life in prison because I knew that I didn't want to land myself back in prison, and I could learn a lot from those guys.
Right.
You know, so those were the only type of people that I was around that had life that was never coming home. You know, because they are like on go mode 24/7. So that's what my mindset was like. All right, why am I gonna chill with people from my city when they not on nothing? Like, I could learn something from these people. You know, I learned a lot about the business when I was in prison, trademarking, LLC. And so like when I came home, I was already on game because you got these guys that's been fighting the pills for years. So I fell in love with law. And, you know, I became like a jailhouse lawyer, you know.
It's crazy because I always thought, you know, you don't hang out with the lifers because they ain't got nothing to lose. So, but you just made a different point. Like, nah, they've been learning and trying to get out. Like,
right.
Even though they're 20, 40 years in,
right.
They're still trying to get out.
Exactly.
I know a guy Daryl Brooks just represented himself in the I forgot what parade he ran through, but even
I saw that.
Yeah, he represented himself. I'm like,
right.
all right, but he must have said, I'm gonna learn something about the law.
Exactly.
To be able to try to do that. I mean, he gave an attempt.
Right.
But I understand that, hey, I'm going to learn something about the law to see kind of what it is. But yeah, no, go ahead. Tell us as far as how it got you in the radio.
Excuse me. So as far as that, it got me into radio because, you know, I was good at talking to people. You know, I was good at, you know, getting a lot of things out of people. You know, you'd be surprised. Like, a lot of people, they have things on their mind, you know, that they don't talk about. So with me being around these lifers, I was like the only person, I was the youngest that was in this prison. And the police will always ask me, like, why are you surrounding yourself around these guys? These guys is mass murderers. Like, what do you see being around these guys, you know? And I like to educate myself. That's what I would tell them. Like, I could learn a lot from these guys. So with that being said, you know, I pretty much just ran with it, you know, just being around them.
Mm. Now, when you get into the radio business, it seems like it's a dying thing.
Right.
So what have you been preparing for as far as being innovative for the future of what radio might look like?
I feel like radio, I was just talking to somebody about this. I feel like radio is kind of like dying off slowly because you got the clubhouses. Everybody's on Clubhouse. Everybody feel like, you know, they more or less like a radio interview, a radio personnel, because you got a station head. You have all these different platforms now.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's like the new radio. But what I'm doing is I'm pretty much taking it to another level with a network. Everybody can afford one of those. It's expensive.
No,
so I can have the new age radio inside the network.
I'm curious, just being, you know, just coming from a radio background, have you got a chance to listen to Her Loss, Drake and 21?
I didn't I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even tap in with it yet.
Mm.
Like, I'm not one of those, I'm kind of like old school. Like, I don't be in a rush to listen to this.
Yeah, like let me be the first at 12 o'clock.
Exactly.
You know, I hear what it is.
Exactly.
But being on the radio, because, you know, it's funny how we were talking about when the album dropped, we were having a conversation like, some of these songs might not be radio songs, but the radio, because of the way the algorithm work and the way programming works, they're gonna put these songs on us,
right,
to make us like them. And Drake is like an automatic. Like, if he drops, how do you feel about that when you, like, let's say for younger hip hop, you know, being from a hip hop culture, when you see people who probably deserve a slot, that, you know, the production is there, everything is there, but a Drake, because he dropped a new song, takes that slot away from being able to give another man a shine. And
that's why I created LAXX, because it's time for change. You know, it's time to really give those artists a spotlight, because, you know, I'm gonna put it this way, it don't matter. Even Jordan had Kobe that came up under him. He got the LeBron James. You can't shine forever. You gotta pass that torch to somebody else. People gonna respect you and be like, all right, cool, you know, that's Drake, whatever. But it's so many artists that deserve a spot, but they don't have a budget. It's just a numbers game. Drake, his team, they got the bag. So they could run up the charts and the numbers the song could be trash, not even talking about nothing. Then you got artists that's out here that's not even been heard of, that's talking about something that's hot, but they don't have a budget. They don't have a team. They don't know the business. So that's what LAXX is getting ready to create for those artists that's not being seen, that's not being heard. We getting ready to take TV. We getting ready to take TV to Jupiter.
Now, how the fuck you get a network? Black man.
I mean,
you only nigga we know is Diddy. you Diddy now. We got Diddy on the couch.
I really, like, you know, before I got casted on Zeus, you know, I had LAXX, you know, I invested in it and then I put it on hold. And then, you know, with me actually, once I got casted and me being on the actual set and seeing how everything rolled, you know, I already had the bag. It was already ready. So I'm like, it's time to finish what I started. And I followed through with the network. You know, I did the business right. You know, made sure that the lawyers was on deck. You know, and me seeing lawsuits that these networks do go through because people don't understand TV. You could put somebody on, give them a opportunity, and they looking for ways to sue you or try to come up. Mm-hmm. Oh no, this happened on the show. They violated me. So, you know, I made sure that the business was straight first. Yeah. You know, that's the most important. That's the ground foundation of business, and making sure that you got your lawyers, because at the end of the day, you could start a network. You don't got the right people behind you, you're gonna fail.
So just to estimate about the cost to start a network, if you would throw
at least $200K. At least.
Can't everybody?
At least $200K.
At least, and that's just getting your feet wet to figure that.
That's just getting your feet wet. And then you're not even talking about, once you shoot the shows, you got a whole nother budget as far as the shows that you have to promote on these blogs. You got to do your radio promo. You got to do all of that to make these shows go up.
What would you tell someone who wants to do a reality show? They feel like they have a great story to tell. They know nothing about reality. What would you tell them to do first? Figure out production costs or get a storyline, get some writers? What would you tell them to kind of start with?
I would say first, before you share it with anybody, keep it to yourself. Because there's a lot of people that's stealing your story. They'll steal your story real quick. You know, and people be so thirsty for TV that they'll see a network like LAXX Network has tons of emails where people are sharing their ideas, but I happen not to be a person that's going to steal your ideas. But I more or less feel like you should just, you know, do your research. Like, you gotta pretty much have like a map and draw how many days do you want to shoot, you know, and you gotta ask yourself the what ifs. What if, you know, this doesn't go right on set? Now you going into more days. What if you rented out an Airbnb for 5 days to shoot a show and it doesn't go as planned? What's your next step? So I feel like you have to have a map to properly plan. Because my first show, I'm gonna be honest with you, my first show on the network, it was crazy. It was really crazy. My first love show on LAXX, like we just shot it in September.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Let's talk about it. For the love of,
for the heart of Moolah.
For the heart of Moolah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did someone pitch that to you? You said, man, I'm actually, you know.
I said I'm gonna do it, you know, because I felt like with me, you know, being on a weird show like that, you know, like you got some people that's really ignorant. If you can't tell a person that, like, I mean, if you watch that show, you understood what I stood for, and I stood what I stood on when I was on that show, and I said what I said. So I said, man, you know, let me get some entertainment. You know, my name buzzing is hot. Let me see where the ladies at. And so I said, let me do a love show. I know my love show is gonna be lit. And so many women like submitted. It was crazy. So I started doing the love show, the casting. I was holding like the auditions. And we did like pool parties all through the summer. Oh yeah. It was lit. It was crazy. And then so, you know, we ended up choosing 18 girls for the cast. We had 18 girls in the house for 7 days. It was crazy.
Now, now come on, brother. Keep it real. Keep it a bean with us. It's just you in the real life. Yeah. Have you been was just like, yeah, I'm finna get a bunch of hoes in this house and I'm just finna get my rocks off.
I more or less, I feel like, you know, me, I stand, you know, I stand for something. You know, I got morals and principles, you know, so.
Amen, brother.
I feel like if you just out here sleeping with anybody, you don't respect yourself. And, you know, if you just allow people to get close to you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a person that's gonna allow you just to get around me and get close to me, because I know everybody wanna say they slept with a celebrity, but I see what happens in this industry. You know, before I came up, all these allegations. I didn't want my name in none of that. So I didn't allow none of them to really get close to me like that because I know once they start getting close, the rumors start spreading. And I didn't want no dirt on my name. So, you know, I pretty much kept it professional on a business tip because that's all it is, business.
Man, is it hard to deal with that many females?
Man, that was crazy. I'm talking about it was so many fights that we couldn't even leave the house. Like we had like dinner dates set up and all that. It was like WWE in there. I'm talking about they tore the whole crib up. Like we couldn't leave to go nowhere. I'm like, we might have a romantic date set up. It's so many fights going on. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, so do y'all got personal beef from the streets? Like, what's going on? Because now I'm looking at y'all not even here for my love.
Nigga,
it was crazy.
Were you expecting that much hostility? Were you expecting? I mean, I know there was a level of okay, it might go down, but were you expecting that much?
I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I knew it was a little tension because, like I said, we was throwing the pool parties back in the summer.
Yeah,
and they was always sold out. All these women from all over flying out just to come to my pool parties. So it was lit, and it was a little beef that started from there, and some of those girls ended up in the house.
Oh.
So I knew it would be a little tension, but it was just everybody was just lit. It was just like everybody was fighting.
Was alcohol involved?
I mean, they was drinking, but that was just them acting and being who they were. They wanted smoke.
Do girls turn up for the camera, or do they, like, when the cameras aren't around, they kind of calm down a little bit, or is it all for show?
Nah, they turn up though, and I'm gonna be honest with you. We recently just dropped the trailer for The Heart of Moolah, and a lot of them are emotional and they don't understand business and entertainment. And I always say this, if you see yourself being on TV, know what comes with it. Don't be in your feelings, just know that it's business. A lot of them, you know, feel some type of way because they felt like, wow, this is how I was acting on TV. This is not who I am. Be yourself on camera. I feel like it's easier when you be yourself on camera. If you lay back, just be yourself. Because if you go somewhere, you go on TV and people that know you outside of TV is going to be looking at you crazy. Like, you don't even act like that. I've never seen you act like that. So they get mad when they see these clips and they fighting and they getting beat up and that's not on me. I didn't do it. It's still a business. So I had a girl call me and say, she said, she called me on Instagram. She said, take me out. She said, take me out. Can you like re-edit the trailer? Because I don't like this. Like, I'm like, but you the one that threw the punch. Yeah, I didn't do it. You did it.
I found God since. I found Jesus since then.
Right.
That wasn't me.
Right.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Because how do you don't like something that you did? Like
exactly. And so now it's just like,
because y'all really supposed to be here for me. So the fact that y'all interacting with each other in such a way,
right? and a lot of them ended up becoming friends, and then I'm just like letting them know that, you know, at the end of the day it was so crazy. I don't think we even gonna have a reunion. Oh, because it's so much beef going on. I'm just gonna have to end this show and just possibly do.
So, did you even find some love? Did somebody get your heart?
Man, it's crazy. Love is hard to find. Love is hard. Listen, you know why love is so hard to find? Because we living in a clout chasing generation. It's fake.
I say if you could find somebody have less than 1,000 followers, just hold on to that. Hold on to that.
Right.
Hold on to it. God damn it.
Of course.
Shit, man. Shit. Right. So I was about to ask about possible season 2, but you said you might not even.
Listen, it's a possibility we might have a season 2. They just got to stay tuned, man, and subscribe to the LAXX Network. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's talk about the LAXX Network. What is it? How can people find it? What platforms is it on? What is the cost?
LAXX is $3.99 a month. It's on Roku TV, it's on Apple TV, it's on Fire TV, it's on Android TV, it's in your iOS and Android store in your phone.
Oh, basically
it's everywhere.
You can't say you can't get it.
You can't say you can't get it.
Damn it, I want y'all to stop right now. God damn it, go to your Roku TV, go to your iPhone, $3.99.
Get ready, $3.99.
What other shows are you planning to put on this network? What other content are you looking for? For the ladies, for the men, whether for kids, whoever.
Listen, I'm honestly, Hollywood isn't coming back to the hood to look for nobody. Like, we have to go to Hollywood to be discovered. So I'm looking to give anything that makes sense, you know, people that's serious about their craft. Because I'm not going to play with you. I'm not here to play and waste time and money, because filming takes a lot of time and money. Like, and it's other people's time too. So you know, I'm looking to really like if it's a show that I feel like I'm bringing back real TV, put it that way. You remember shows like Family Matters, shows like My Brother and Me, you know, those shows. I'm bringing back real TV. I'm bringing back shows like Rap City Basement, those type of shows. I'm bringing back real TV. So if it makes sense, you know, I'm willing to give anybody a chance because I know what it was like for me to like, I put myself in position with radio. You know, I put myself, before all of that, like you have to have a budget. You know, if you don't have you got to have money. And I had money to put myself in a position to fund myself. So I want to open up the doors for the people that's less fortunate.
And you look at a situation like Diddy with Revolt, where he went and grabbed Drink Champs.
Right.
And, you know, just say, I'm going to put the bag behind it.
Right.
He made Carisha Please. You know, he put that out. Are you looking to grab that kind of content as far as things that are already, can people sell you a show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, there you go.
Of course they can sell me. If it makes sense, we gonna put the bag behind it and we going up. We got the artist channel too, the countdown, because I feel like
yes, the countdown.
There's a lot of artists that need to be seen.
Yes.
Like we just had the second show we just shot last weekend. It's called LAXX Tape. It's like a show like Making a Band.
Yes.
We got AJ1K on there. He's actually
shout out
AJ1K.
Goddamn it.
You know,
Bad CNT.
You remember that Making a Band show? So it's the LAXX Tape. So we got artists from all over the world. They're gonna come together because I want people to see that it don't matter where you from. You could come together and make good music.
That is facts.
And you know the objective of the show is to have these artists come together. We're gonna put some good music together. And we gonna do it big.
Yeah, that in itself is exciting because you know, like we were just talking, the top 10 songs gonna stay in rotation. People are hungry for new music, for new artists to discover.
Right.
We don't want to wait for the freshman XXL to watch. You know,
we tired of that.
Yeah, we want to see something a little quicker. We used to have Rap City, The Basement, and things like that. So the countdown, you know,
the countdown.
What is your flavor, like music that you love? Like who are some artists that you mess with? So I kind of get a.
Because I'm a rap artist. Yeah. I started off rapping. You know, I still write music and stuff. I'm just like an all around entrepreneur. So like I know so much about music because I was an artist. But I said before I really like get back into it, I wanted to like have a major platform. Like I wanted to have a monster. You know, so like Fab, me and Fabulous, we have. His mother is my cousin, Fab. Oh, shit. So, you know, he was like somebody that I looked up to too, you know, and I found out Fab was my cousin probably about like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, damn. Yeah, so, you know, he was somebody that I was inspired by. I listened to, I like Plies like, they're old Plies, the Real Testament Plies. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, let me see. It's a lot of artists, but a lot of these new artists is like, they don't even turn my head, man.
Boosie and T.I. said they're about to drop an album, and they say it's crushing Drake and 21 Savage shit. Do you believe that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely not. I do not believe it. I do not believe that. Absolutely not. I feel like that was
I don't know, bro.
I feel like that was a great marketing standpoint, if you ask me. Because if somebody say like that, that's gonna be a topic on the internet. Yo, you heard what Boosie and Tip said about 21 and Drake? So that was a great marketing standpoint, but nah, ain't nobody listening to that. I don't even like, I would listen to old Tip before I listen to some of his. It's nothing that I would like want to listen to right now.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That nigga 21 Savage said, I don't get carded when I go to the club. They know I'm 21.
You see what I'm saying? But now the generation of music is, you can say something like that and get away with it, you know?
I think if either Boosie or T.I. could come up with a line harder than that.
Of course, but it's gonna go over anybody else's head. You know, if you're not really a hip hop artist, you know, that really likes the, you know, the bars and, you know, it's not a lot of that no more. It's just simple stuff. You could say, I got 50 shots ringing out of K. And people go, oh, that was hot.
Yeah, that ad-lib.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. Oh, yeah. You might even feel it.
For real, the whole hit, the whole night. So what's your thoughts on female rappers taking over the game, man? From the Cardis to the City Girls, the Glorilla coming up. I mean,
I feel like women are dominating the industry. I kind of feel like, I mean, City Boys is down.
Man, damn. Oh,
City Boys is down.
You think
City
we down?
Boys is down. City Boys is down right now.
Can we come back in the fourth quarter, guys?
Man,
it might be hard, man. I don't know. It's like every time you look around, a female's getting signed.
No, that's fact.
City Boys is down.
Yeah.
And it's just like the City Boys is trying to collab with these females that got a buzz. I just feel like it's gonna take for City Boys to be back up. I feel like gotta come creative.
Now, when you see a huge artist like Dababy, right? From where he came from now to now, he's doing shows and his tickets are buy one get one free. Like, what are some of the mistakes you think he made, and do you think there's a comeback? And just from like you being in music and radio, and you can see trends. Do you think there's a turnaround for him or what?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like with him, I feel like he's blackballed. And
do you feel it was from the
from that? I feel like from that comment and the situation with, because when we was filming Bad Boys, he was fighting at the bowling alley.
Yeah, so
I feel like he's just dug a hole for himself that he might not be able to climb out of, because it's just every time you look around. So now the media has painted a picture of him like this bad guy, and it's just like every time you hear Dababy, you like, oh no, I'm not even going to that. I'm not doing it. It's going to end bad.
People love a good bandwagon. Oh,
right.
We're all, what are we hating? Pitchforks? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jump in.
So I feel like with him, I really feel like the best thing that he should do is just like, because I know his artists, his old artists, even she.
God damn it.
What's her name from she?
Yeah, we interviewed her. God damn it.
What's her?
K-Kilo. Yeah, shout out K-Kilo.
She went with the allegations and was saying some crazy stuff about him, and then it's just like now you got everybody looking at Dababy like a bad guy. So I just feel like I don't know, it's gonna be hard. I feel like he should put some money behind the artists and get some writers, because it's gonna be hard for him. They got him really like blackballed. Mm-hmm. It's like every time you look around from his before these buy one get one free tickets, nothing has sold out. Yeah. It's like once that comment that he made, I feel like that ended him. That did it.
Man, I really feel like when he called Danny Lay a side bitch, I think, bro, that triggered a lot of black women.
Right.
The Megan Thee Stallion situation, that, I get it, but when you're already down, like, damn it, I mean,
But he said that he put that out before.
Yeah, but you still have creative control to say, hey, do I want to alter that one part? Because I know it might cause, everyone has control over what's going to happen. Like, that's a very direct line.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, either you're going to throw it out there and we could,
I feel like when you at your lowest, you're going to take shots. You're going to say anything to get attention.
Oh, yeah, no. And I've been, headlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, speaking of headlines, I got to get your thoughts as far as, give you the opportunity on this platform to give your flowers to Takeoff, man. Rest in peace, Takeoff. The situation that happened in Houston, you saying even earlier that you don't come down south a lot, but yet, there's a lot of down south music, flows up north. What is the level of loss to the hip hop community, you feel, with one of the Migos gone? I
really feel like that kind of put like a knife into the game. He was like, I don't know him personally, but from what I've seen and him coming up, I felt like he was a very positive person. He's very quiet. And I just feel like we got to do better. We got to really do better. It's so many of us, we in competition with each other. We trying to out-rap each other. It's just like, I don't know, the way that they have it set up is just like they killing us off, And I really feel like that shouldn't have even took place. That could have been avoided. I honestly feel like it was a setup, if you ask me, because it's just, from what we seen, it's just not adding up. It's just like for somebody like that to get taken out of the game, I feel like we're done with 3 Migos and 1 gone now. It's just like now is a chance that somebody else can shine brighter than them, because now it's not 3 of them now. So it's just like, I feel like the game is kind of like put together and is set to take people out. That's just how I see it. This ain't new though. This been going on for years.
Man, just as, black entertainment as a whole, it seemed like everything we do is derived from pain and hurting each other. Do you think that we'll ever be able to beat that?
I don't think so, because, you hear people preach about they want to hear positive things, but they really don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, if you put a positive song on the radio, depending on what it is, I'm not gonna listen to it. It's just like you want to hear that get your strap, get lit.
That's my honesty for your ass. That's my honesty. He said I would not listen to the positivity.
You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real though. Like if
That's 100. That's 100.
If you put a song on the radio and it's just like the beat knocking, is just like, let me turn this shit off. I wanna get lit before I go to the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just feel like this is what has been instilled in the hip hop, you know what I'm saying, culture.
Do you think they can and should they ban drill music? Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, anything that's gonna sell, they ain't gonna ban it. So, I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, I just really feel like, I don't know, I really feel like drill music, it really don't have anything to do with people getting killed. I feel like that shit been around, man. It's been happening. People gonna get killed regardless. You could put on some church music and you got a whole bunch of black people around, it's gonna pop off. That don't mean nothing. No drill music.
I remember I was playing GoldenEye to Bone Thugs shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's as drill as it get, man.
Right.
I remember one time I seen some niggas get into it. They playing Mini Men at the club. They turned on that Mini Men.
So it's just like if you bring us all around each other, it don't matter what's playing. But I do feel like that is it is the reason why a lot of things does pop off, because certain routing, for example, Nuck If You Buck.
Yeah.
Every time that song came on, it was a fight in the club.
Yeah. I prefer
so
a fight
certain
than
music, but now it's just like different. Like drill music, you talking about murdering son, a homie. Like that's just what's going on. But I still believe that it's just the people that surround each. Like when we come together, it just go down. Drill music might bring people, certain crowds together, and these things occur.
That's real. That's real. Now you mentioned, of course, if it makes money, you know, from a CEO standpoint, when you look at what's going on with Kanye West, you know, you make comments, you do certain things, and then all of a sudden you were worth $6 billion, and now everything's getting snatched away from you. All these things that you thought you owned or whatever business, you know, I'm sure there's a greater design behind it, but things that, you know, everybody want to disassociate themselves with you. What do you feel when you see that from, you know, a person who technically is, you know, self-proclaimed billionaire going on that, and then is he really a billionaire if he could just be taken away from you just for you saying something on Twitter?
I feel like you never owned it. And that's why, like, you know, I was inspired by Nip, and I'm big on ownership. You know, I just feel like a lot of us sell our souls real quick because we look at it like I'm climbing up the ladder and I want this bag. But 9 times out of 10, if you say something crazy, they can snatch it from you. You never owned it. You know, but let it be another race. They say these things on air all the time, and 9 times out of 10, nothing happens to them. They're not getting canceled. It's us getting canceled. You know, we're canceling ourselves. Kanye knew that. Yeah. He knew that. He knew the consequences behind what was going to happen. He knew that, but we don't know this. We don't know what he's coming with next, though. He might have did that for a reason, but I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like if you don't just invest in yourself, so you don't got to worry about nobody taking nothing from you. You know, it's just like a dude that jumps from female to female and lives with her, never had his own crib. You're going to get tired of getting kicked out the crib. Get your own shit.
Basically,
Sway had the answers.
Right.
You got any shout outs, brother?
Man, listen, I want to say shout out to all the entrepreneurs, all the hustlers, all the grinders. Man, keep believing in yourself. Keep going up. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you. You got to believe in yourself. It starts with you. Why am I going to invest my time and my money into you if you don't believe in yourself?
Now, that's the biggest fact right there. The biggest fact. The LAXX network, I want you to, of course, tell them how to get it again, tell them where to go, but also the name LAXX, where does it come from?
LAXX is more or less, you know, when you at home and you watching TV, kick back and relax.
I love it.
We got our own weed brand coming out too as well. It's called the LAXX Pack. Oh. So when you smoke the weed, you can scan the back of the barcode and you just get high as a kite. You feel like you above the clouds.
Bro, you know how genius that is to where like most niggas will probably eat a bowl of cereal and watch some reality TV.
Right.
Now you need the LAXX Pack.
Right.
Turn on the LAXX network.
Right.
And watch For the Heart of Moolah.
For the Heart of Moolah, everything we got on there. Everything.
From everything else. That's why. For those that do want to get at not only the LAXX social media handles, but also your social media handles, lay it all out. You know.
It's Moolah, MOOLAH_Mo. And my radio page, 97.5 Hip Hop Daily. You know, LAXX Network, of course, LAXX NETWORK. Tap in with me.
Moolah Moe, LAXX Network. Man, we love everything you're doing, man. You're a king, brother. We want to see you go up, man. for the heart of Moolah coming.
It's coming in 2023, but we gonna we just dropped the trailer.
Yeah.
But we're gonna drop a Thanksgiving special. You know, so it's like because the people want it, and I feel like when it come to black folks, because the network is up and it's like we're still filming shows.
Right.
We still getting ready to put content up more and more. So they like I got all these subscribers and they get hungry. All these emails. Where's the stuff? Oh, I'm ready. Where I want my money back. So it's like be patient. We knew.
Yeah.
Just know we coming with it. But we gonna give them a Thanksgiving special though.
Amen.
Oh, and we got a show on the 17th. On the 17th, what is it, Mama? Is the LAXX week? We doing LAXX weekend in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
For all the artists, rappers, singers, models, everybody, we giving somebody a chance to be seen on TV.
Give us the details on that. Where's that going to be at? Chocolate Lounge, right around the corner from the Reallyfe Street Stars building, man. You know what I'm saying? On Lamar, whatever the hell they call the road.
That's December 17th, 4 to 8.
December 17th, 4 to 8, man. Oh my God, it's gonna be up. It's gonna be crazy.
If you got talent, come with it. I just, like I said, I believe there's so much talent out here. I want to put them on TV. At least I can say I gave you a shot.
Hey,
I gave you a shot.
Hey, and then Reallyfe TV show coming. We said it.
Right.
Speaking of this, hey brother, man, we love everything you're doing, brother. Moolah Moe, man, shit, you already know. You are a Reallyfe street star.
Appreciate that.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Moolah.